What has been the toughest thing about playing with LeBron James?
I wouldn't say any toughest.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Oh,
That's just the answer I was looking for right there. It's not tough. It should be easy to play with him.
Luka Doncic sat down with Snoop Dogg for what looked like a laid-back interview, but nobody expected him to drop a line that exposed one of the biggest splits in NBA culture right now. He's talking about LeBron James, giving him props for crazy longevity, and then he says something that makes you pause for real. I might not be able to walk no more at 23 seasons, Luka admits with a laugh.
Must to be great, man. Just talk about his 23rd season. And I said, I might not be able to walk no more at 23rd season, and he's still doing it at the best of the best.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
But the wild part? That wasn't just some random joke. That was Luka showing exactly what kind of player he is. And it's the total opposite of what the modern league is built around. Because while LeBron is celebrating hitting year 23 like it's nothing, Luka just explained why he might never even reach that point, and why he's completely fine with it. And before anyone sees that as negative, let me show you why this might be the most championship-locked mindset any player has revealed in years.
Like you mentioned a little bit about today's game, because we had Club on here and he talked about load management. He said, I don't know what the hell that is. Where is it going? And that's number one. And number two, how do we get it back?
Even for me, I love the NBA game, but then I turn on to a game, right? And then the stars are not playing because of load management. It's hurting the game.
So here's how it went down. Snoop asks Luka what it's like running with LeBron, and Luka gives the usual respect. He praises Bron, talks about how unreal it is that he's still dominating deep into his 23rd season. Standard, respectful talk. Then Luka drops the line that shifts the whole vibe. He jokes about how he might not even be able to walk by year 23, and the way he says it tells you everything. He's not really joking. He's keeping it honest. Luka knows the stress he's putting on his body. He knows the price he's paying every night, and he accepts it. Because when Snoop brings up championships, listen to the first thing Luka points out.
That's amazing to know that you had a relationship with Kobe Bryant, and now you playing with LeBron James in the building that means so much to us in LA. Does any of that go through your head while you playing and on a mission for a championship, thinking about that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kobe brought so many championships here. LeBron brought a championship here, so I want to be the next one to do it for sure. But just, I met Kobe, I playing with LeBron, just as a little kid in Slovenia, I just wanted to play basketball. Just wanted to touch the NBA, and now I'm playing with them.
Kobe brought so many championships here. LeBron brought a championship here. Did you catch that? Kobe brought many. LeBron brought one. It's not a shot at Bron. That's Luka showing you exactly who he studied. That's him revealing who his real blueprint is. And when Snoop shows him those championship rings, spinning them and talking about bringing Magic back to LA, Luka doesn't mention longevity. He doesn't talk about playing into his 40s. He locks in on one thing, that ring. Even with a growing family and a full life outside the court, Luka's focus doesn't blur. Championships over everything. But here's where things get real interesting, because Luka's playing style right now is proving something nobody in the modern NBA wants to admit. There are two totally different roads to greatness in this league, and only one of them usually leads to stacking multiple titles. On one side, you've got the longevity game. This is the modern NBA blueprint. Protect your body, stretch your career, hit year 20 and beyond. Stack up the counting stats, break every record. LeBron is the king of that path. Strategic with his minutes, selective with when he plays, resting even when he's healthy if the schedule is rough.
You have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. There's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% all.
And it's working. He's 40 and still putting up huge numbers. He's going to own every longevity record the league has. But the other route, that's the old school grind. The Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan mentality. You treat every game like it might be your last. You don't ask for rest. You show up ready to compete, no matter what. You push through injuries that would sideline most players, and you give up your whole body chasing championships. And here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. This mentality breaks you down physically, but it usually brings home more rings. Look at the history and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Coming to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. And so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit out? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit? I gotta beat.
Kobe Bryant played 20 seasons, and by the time he was done, his body was holding on by pure will. He tore his Achilles at 34. By 37, moving up and down the court looked brutal. That farewell season hurt to watch, but here's what he left with: 5 championship rings.
I twist my ankle, and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you know, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. You know, this is, you need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact.
5 different times he stood center stage holding the Larry O'Brien trophy like it belonged to him. Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, took breaks, came back, and retired at 40. After that short comeback run, his knees were finished. He couldn't get the same lift anymore, but he still walked away with 6 rings. 6 times he proved he was the top competitor on the planet when it counted the most. Now compare that to LeBron. He's in year 23 right now, still in incredible shape for his age. He's going to play more games than anyone ever has. He's going to score more points than anyone in league history.
I competed hard. I played the game the way it was supposed to be played. I played injured, and I played with a lot of pride. So I owe everything to the NBA.
But after all that longevity, 4 rings, 4 championships in 23 seasons, while playing with multiple All-Stars and stacked rosters across his career. So here's the real question people tiptoe around. What's actually more impressive, playing forever or winning more titles? Now let's talk about what Luka Doncic actually did this season, because this is where things get real. This is where we see which path he chose. And spoiler, he's not studying the LeBron longevity handbook. He's moving with that Kobe leave everything on the court mindset. Luka missed 18 games this season. Sounds rough until you see the truth. Every single missed game came from real injuries, 0 load management, 0 rest days, 0 being cautious. He played through a calf strain that should have benched him for weeks.
Jordan, the Magic Johnsons, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, we earned what we got. When the corporate America came to us, we had a game that could validate their admiration
and sponsorship and all that, yeah.
Now they get that before they play one game.
Yeah.
So you're rolling the dice to see if this kid's ever going to be good or not.
Yeah.
So in essence, you're paying the kid off of potential.
Yeah.
That he may be great.
You don't think that's good?
No, because I think it sets bad work ethic. When you get something so easily, you're not going to work as hard.
He kept going through a knee issue that had him limping from possession to possession. There was even a night he'd left the arena on crutches and still pushed himself to return early. And here's the wild part. He lost MVP eligibility because of it. The NBA now requires 65 games to qualify for MVP, meant to cut down on players sitting out. But Luka didn't miss games to rest. He missed them because he played so hard through injuries that his body finally forced a shutdown. He literally sacrificed his MVP chances because he refused to stay out when his squad needed him. Think about that. LeBron has never had this issue. He manages his body so precisely that he almost always clears the game requirement. It's calculated. But Luka plays so hard that his body taps out before he ever does. Even when his team proved they could win without him, going 6-2 in his absence, he still rushed back because he couldn't stand watching from the bench. That's the Kobe mentality, showing up for every battle, even if it costs you long term. And here's the part that stirs up the debate. We don't know yet whether this approach is genius or reckless. Time will tell. But what we do know is this. The players who followed this path in past eras ended up with more rings. That's real history talking. Kobe's body broke down at 37, but he earned 5 titles. Jordan's body eventually gave out, but he walked away with 6. LeBron is still physically elite deep into his career, but he's sitting at 4. So which formula actually wins more championships? Here's something most people don't know about Luka. He met Kobe Bryant when he was young, before the NBA spotlight, before any draft hype, before he became international news. Luka crossed paths with the Black Mamba, and you can tell that moment stuck with him. Because when Luka talks about Lakers championships in that Snoop interview, pay close attention to his exact words again. Kobe brought so many championships here. You know, LeBron brought a championship here. That wording hits different, and it matters. Kobe brought many. LeBron brought a championship. Luka could have said they both brought titles. He could have grouped them together, but he didn't. He separated them and he put Kobe first. Now think about how Kobe's final seasons looked. The man played his last game with a torn rotator cuff. He pushed through an entire season with knees that were basically gone. He couldn't jump like before. He could barely move side to side, but he still showed up for all 82 games some seasons because that's what you did as a champion. You didn't ask for rest. You didn't load manage. You played through everything because your teammates and the fans expected that grind. And here's where Kobe differed from LeBron in this specific area. Kobe's teammates literally watched him tear himself apart for the sake of winning. They saw him fight through injuries that should have ended seasons. They saw him refuse to sit down. That builds a culture, about just a real one, where everybody knows the standard. When your superstar is dragging one leg in the playoffs but still hooping, who on that roster is going to complain about feeling tired? Compare that to what LeBron's teammates see, and they see him sitting out games even when he's healthy because it's the second night of a back-to-back. They see planned rest days for load management. Kobe built something at the Lakers that went beyond basketball. He built a code, and the code was simple. You show up, you play hurt, you don't offer excuses, and you chase championships with everything you've got. That's why he walked away with 5 rings. That's why teammates would do anything for him. So when Luka talks about wanting to be the next guy to bring another championship to LA, he mentions both Kobe and LeBron, but his actions tell the real story. The way he sacrifices his body, the way he refuses to load manage, even when it cost him MVP eligibility this season. Luka is clearly following the Kobe blueprint, not the LeBron one. Now here's where things get spicy because these questions make people uncomfortable, but they're real questions and they deserve real answers. First one, if LeBron James had played with Kobe Bryant's mentality, would he have more than 4 rings right now? Think about it. LeBron has played with D. Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, superstar talent all around him throughout different eras. He's been on super teams most of his career. He had the supporting firepower, no doubt, but he's also taken rest nights, missed games, and used load management heavily, especially later in his career. So ask yourself, if he pushed like Kobe did, if he played all 82 games season after season, if he refused to take nights off, would he be sitting at 6 rings? 7? Maybe more? We'll never know the real answer, but it's a fair question to put on the table, because the counter argument is legit too. By protecting his body, LeBron has stayed in championship conversations for almost 3 decades straight. That's the longevity method, the marathon strategy, not the sprint. You stay healthy longer, which gives you more chances. But do those chances really matter if you're not turning them into rings at the same rate? Here's another question nobody wants to touch. Is making it to year 23 really that impressive if you sat out 50+ games along the way just to keep your body fresh? LeBron is going to break every longevity record in NBA history. Most games, most minutes, most seasons, but how many of those records would he still hold if he played every night like Jordan and Kobe? And does that even define greatness? Are longevity stats what we should be celebrating, or are championship rings the only real measurement? Now, for a third question. And this one cuts deep. What would Kobe Bryant say about load management? We actually have a clue, because Kobe spoke on this before he passed. He never attacked players directly for sitting out, but he made his mindset very clear. He said he played hurt because he refused to let his teammates down. He said missing a game when you can play disrespects the fans who spend their money to watch you. His entire legacy was built on a simple code. You show up no matter what. So imagine what he'd say about someone sitting out perfectly healthy just because it's the second night of a back-to-back. Imagine what he'd say about load management protocols. We all know Kobe's reaction, and Luka knows it too. That's why he's grinding through injuries instead of resting. That's why he lost MVP eligibility for playing too hard. He's locked into the Kobe code. Fourth question. And this is the one that stirs the most heat. Did the era matter? In the 90s and the early 2000s, if you sat out games without a major injury, you were instantly labeled soft. Fans and media tore into you. That was the culture. But in the 2010s and 2020s, if you don't rest, you get called reckless and short-sighted. The culture flipped completely. So which era was right? Which mentality produced more killers? Which approach actually delivered more championships? Look at the hardware. The 90s featured Jordan and the Bulls playing every game, winning 6 rings. The 2000s had Kobe and Shaq, then Kobe and Pau, fighting through everything and stacking 5 titles. But the 2010s and 2020s, the Warriors won with motion offense and controlled minutes. The Raptors won with Kawhi Leonard barely playing. The Bucks won, the Nuggets won, but none of those squads built dynasties like the Bulls and Lakers. None of those stars reached that mythical status Jordan and Kobe earned. Maybe that's coincidence, or maybe there's something about the sacrifice, that refuse to sit mentality, that creates legends in a way the protect your body approach just can't match. Fifth and final question, Sox D. Does your superstar's approach to the regular season shape the entire championship culture? When LeBron sits out healthy and his teammates watch it, what message does that send? Compare that to Kobe's teammates watching him play on one leg, watching him power through pain, watching him refuse to take breaks. Which environment builds a tougher, more resilient squad? I'm not saying there's a single correct answer to any of this, but these questions are real because what Luka is doing right now, grinding through injuries and sacrificing MVP chances, forces the entire league to look at greatness differently. Refusing to load manage is Luka Doncic making a loud statement about which path he believes actually leads to championships. And here's why this hits different for Lakers fans. Luka is only 25, and he's already speeding toward a collision course with his own body. He's playing the way Kobe played. He's refusing to sit out. He's choosing winning over preservation. And he just told Snoop Dogg straight up that his goal is to bring a championship back to LA. But here's the clock that's already ticking. Luka probably has around a 10-year window before his body starts breaking down, if he keeps going at this pace. Kobe's body began falling apart around age 34, and that Achilles tear at 34 was the moment everything changed. If Luka follows that same path, Lakers fans realistically have until he's about 35 to win titles with him. That's a decade. It sounds long, but in NBA years, that window is tight. The Lakers just traded for Luka. They have LeBron in year 23. They have Anthony Davis. The roster is stacked, but the timeline is shorter than people realize. Because if Luka keeps sacrificing his body like he is now, this isn't going to be a 15-year partnership. This is going to be a run that burns bright and fast, the same way Kobe's prime years did. And honestly, maybe that's exactly what Lakers fans crave. Maybe they don't want another player who's focused on stretching a career into year 23. Maybe they want someone who's going to leave everything out there every night, someone who'll play through pain, someone who can bring that Mamba mentality culture back to life. And Luka is already proving he's built for that. Now imagine this. If Luka stays healthy for the next 3 seasons, the Lakers could legitimately chase 3 straight championships, but that only happens if Luka keeps playing the way he's playing now. No load management, showing up for every big night, sacrificing his body when the moment demands it. If he flips to the longevity approach and starts preserving himself, the Lakers might get more years out of him, but they won't get that same championship urgency. This is the trade-off. You want Kobe's mentality? You accept Kobe's shortened prime. You want LeBron's long run? You accept fewer rings per season. And Luka has already made his choice. The real question is whether Lakers fans are ready for everything that choice brings. So let's pull it all together. When Luka Doncic said he might not be able to walk by year 23, he wasn't cracking a joke. He was telling everyone the price of greatness the old school way. He was showing which road he's taking, and it's not the modern preserve your body until 45 route. He's choosing the Kobe path, the Jordan path, the sacrifice everything for championships path. LeBron James is going to finish with more seasons played than anyone in NBA history. He'll own every longevity record. He might end up with 5 or maybe even 6 rings when it's all said and done. And that's an amazing career. But Kobe Bryant finished with 5 rings in fewer years. And in Los Angeles, that turned him into a legend, a symbol, a figure people treat like a god.